We are the heartbeat of Seattle.
Hello, and thank you for stopping by. Today, I want to speak to you about an issue that has been brewing for a while. And also in my brain, I have been giving it lots of thought. It is the autonomous zone in Seattle, in Capitol Hill, which was originally known as Chaz, Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. Then they changed it to CHOP, Capitol Hill Organized Protest Zone. But in actuality, it has become something that it wasn't started to be. The city has allowed it to go on as long as it can. In theory, Chaz or CHOP was a very good idea. In theory, it was a very good idea. But in actuality, it wasn't carried out right because it had no organization. Everybody was just running amok. I'm not saying the people were bad people. Their intentions at the core, their intentions in the core of it was good. Have a place where you can protest, but in actuality, did you really think that you'd be able to have that as your own forever? No. Regardless of why they allowed you to have it, why the police backed off, why that happened, only they know why. I can have thoughts on it. Like maybe they figured it would be better in the moment to allow you all to take over. When I say you all, I mean protesters. Allow the protesters to take over Capitol Hill's precinct area, and instead of trying to stop it because it would have escalated. Now, the shootings that have happened, I'm not really for sure if that was done by people within the protest itself or if somebody came in, did the shooting, so it would give the city and the police a reason to dismantle Chaz or the autonomous zone. I have to think about that, but that does raise a lot of questions. Now, Chaz was, hold on a second, my eye is watering. Now, Chaz, or CHOP as it has become known as, that started to just become a free-for-all for everybody. And I don't really see a lot of order there. Protesting usually does not have a lot of order. They're just a group of people that feel a certain way, and a lot of them have their own personal agendas for why they're there. You may be protesting George Floyd's death, but you may have a different reason for being there because it's a free zone now. You could probably be up there and just get high all day, if that's what you do. If you want to just camp out, then you'll do that too. Now it has gone past the protest period. The message has gotten through at the moment. Whether it stays there is another story. It has broken through the doors of America. There is a lot of Americans that do not understand why people are protesting because they have never felt injustice. They have never been treated as a second-class citizen. They have never had any of the problems happen that happens to a lot of minorities. It's like You bring people to America to work for you as a slave, then they get set free, and now you don't want them here. When I say you, I'm talking about America as a whole. You should not have to create your own version of America inside of America to be able to live in America. If you're at the table, you should be a part of that table. There are people that have made it, yes, Oprah, you have Steve Harvey, you have Tyler Perry, you have loads and loads of other people that have made it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that just because they were brought to the table that America will ever consider them to be a part of that table. We're the ones that are looking around trying to find a spot at the table, hoping that we can earn our way into the table. But I have never been treated poorly. I have had my issues, but compared to others, I have been treated fairly decently my whole life. I went through a spot where I was homeless, but in all of that, I deal with people, real people, people with problems, people with issues, people that are struggling. And I have come to find out that no matter who you are, you have at least one really good, interesting story that you can add to America's book of secrets. And you're not always going to get along with everybody. That's a given. Some people, no matter how hard you try, you just will not get along with them, and you cannot, for your own sake, judge somebody because of who they are as a people. I have noticed a lot that hate black people, not because they have gotten to know some of them and they just didn't get along. They hate them because they are black. They hate them because they think they are supposed to hate them. And deep down, they could give a crap less whether they're supposed to or not. That's what they're going to do. I don't want to make this all about race. I want to keep to the point at hand, which is the Seattle Autonomous Zone. It was started as a good idea. It was poorly executed. Poor choice of word there. It was poorly built up from its inception. When they decided to create that zone, there wasn't a clear person that was leading the protest. They were all thinking they could just get into that area and just do whatever they wanted. But now we have put our thinking caps on. We are starting to use our brain, and the autonomous zone has to be disbanded. The party is over. It is time to go back to work now. We need to figure out exactly what we can do to make America a better place to live for everyone that lives here. As far as Seattle goes, we need to fix police brutality. We need to have accountability. That's with every place in the United States and throughout the world, actually. We need accountability. But right now, we are talking about Seattle. And with that, I think personally, this is the way I would, if I was mayor right now, I would make a mandate that all of the police in the department, wherever you are stationed at, that is where you need to live. Because if you live in an area that you work at, 9 times out of 10, you will try harder to make things easier for yourself. When you live outside of the area you work at, there's no accountability there. You can just do whatever you want and then know you're going home, and oh well, you'll just pick it up the next day. But if the problems that the police create are in the area they live in, then 9 times out of 10, they'll do less crap and they'll work harder at becoming friends with their neighbors because they have skin in the game now. So, Chaz needs to be disbanded. How do we do this? How do we do this without creating more problems? We don't want to create an issue for those that are there. We don't want them to use this as an excuse to say the police are being heavy-handed. So before we dismantle Chaz or CHOP in Seattle's Capitol Hill, we need to figure out exactly a good way to do this. And speaking of that, I'm going to write the mayor of Seattle a letter asking her what course of action she has planned on taking. Also, I'm going to write the police department. I'm going to write the chief of police, and I'm going to ask the chief of police if they have any way forward. Have they given this thought before they storm up there like a bull in heat? I'm going to give them suggestions and tell them that my phone is always open. If they want ideas, they can call me. I would be more than willing to help them, because whatever we do now will make things easier for me when I run for mayor in Seattle of 2025. If I was to get elected, I want Seattle to be ready to go. I want it to be ready to be fixed, to have the issues taken care of that have been piling up for the last 40 years. So, having said that, if you have a comment or you know of a way to dismantle Chaz in a way that will not create more problems and make it seem like Chaz is the ones initiating this response, put a comment below, right down here, put a comment. Also, if you have an idea for a video, please put it in the comments below. Also, if you want to subscribe to my video, hit the subscribe button right down here. Also, if you want to give me a like, hit the big old thumbs up, squash it. I can really use the help. I plan on trying to make Seattle better between now and the time I plan on running for mayor. If you want to help, I would be more than willing to accept your help as long as it's helpful. Having said that, I'm going to leave you on this note. Let us make tomorrow better than yesterday by doing the very best we can today. Have a good afternoon, Seattle, America, and all points beyond.